Hi crafty friends. Okay, this is going to be a long one here, but I wanted to show you what I've been working on. I'm doing a Halloween through the years, so I was inspired by Allie Edwards' Christmases or Past Christmases album, and then also all of the October dailies that I've been seeing. So I kind of wanted to just go back and put all of the costumes that we've ever had as a family in an album, and so that's kind of where I'm at now. I made a couple of tags that I haven't used yet, and I made a bookshelf, stamped a bookshelf, and then I have a little 4x4 Project Life page that I kind of thought about incorporating into this. And I realized I just didn't like the 4x4, so wanted to come up with something different. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. I already have there's all of my supplies. I have those in a Sterilite drawer that's 12 by 12. I used to keep scrapbook paper in there, and I've recently cleaned it out so that I can keep projects in each of those drawers. So these are just a few of the things, a few of the ideas. I kind of thought about putting this on a tag, but I realized I just really didn't like the 4x4 because my album is 3x8, and it was just a little bit too large to put in with the page protectors, I felt like. So I'm not really wanting to reinvent the wheel here. I've already scrapbooked a lot of these pages in the past. So what I want to do is, first I'm looking at the photos. I've collected them all in an album on my phone labeled Halloween Past. And I've just kind of been saving things as I come across them from my Google Photos. And checking the dates here to see where I actually am. I'm in 2017 in my album right now, and part of 2018. So going through, looking to see where we're at, that's 2018, and pulling that up in Canva to see where did I leave off. I have a project in Canva that has all of these pages. So I have pages that I resized because I was having issues with my printer, and I have pages that I have converted to 8x10, so I save them to my phone and then just put them back in 8x10, or sometimes I do that on my computer. That's the great thing about Canva, is that you can switch back and forth between working on your mobile device and working on your actual computer. So I'm just looking here. I did 2017 already. I did a few pages from 2018, just saving these, and I'm going to go print those on an 8x10 piece of paper. So there it is, printed out, and we're going to just take it to the table and cut it into 3x8. And like I said, I'm having issues. I always have issues with getting it to print exactly the size that I want it to. Sometimes my printer does exactly what I want it to, and other times it doesn't, and I can't figure out what its problem is. I've tried borderless, I've tried just regular, I've tried doing it through Photoshop, I've tried doing it as a PDF, and it just kind of has a mind of its own. It also kind of wants to print crooked sometimes too, so I always have to kind of make sure that I am cutting the picture out and not necessarily lining up the edge, if that makes sense. So these are cut to exactly 3x8. I would like them to be a little bit smaller so that they slide into the page protectors easier, but this one I didn't want to trim any more than what I already had because I liked having that white edge, and I totally lost it on the very edges, just retained it on the inside. And later on I finally figure out I just need to resize my photos a little smaller since my printer was being mean. So this is 2017, and I had already designed those in Canva. I had taken one of those, was just a Project Life page from the Project Life app, and then this is the beginning of 2018. And I actually printed 2018 as a 4x4 there, and I thought about just cutting it in half and doing one on the top and one on the bottom, but I really like the journal card that's in the middle, and it's just too tiny to read. So I am going to take that same Project Life layout, and I'm going to reformat it in Canva to a 3x8. So if you look above, you'll see that I already did that, and I just overlooked it. So I'm going to do it totally again. And then I'm going to realize, oh, okay, I already did that one time. So we all make mistakes, right? So I'm just going to show you how I did that. I formatted this to be the full height of the picture and the width of the page. And then I'm going to position that to one side, kind of in the middle. There we go, so that way it crops it. And then I'm just going to duplicate that. And then when you double click on that, it'll pull that up, and I'm going to slide it over to the other side and then pull that down so that it is at the very bottom of the page. And I could have cropped it. I don't think I did here because it just happened to be on the edge already, so it worked out perfectly. So we're going to position that at the very bottom, and I'm kind of tinkering with it until we get it just right. And I think maybe I did have to crop it a little bit just because it wasn't quite going where I wanted it to. That's my biggest complaint with Canva is, especially when I'm doing it on my phone, I touch things that I shouldn't touch, and it shrinks and goes in different directions. Okay, so once we get that where it needs to go, and then we can move everything over so that's centered. I will get that saved, and once again I'm still just kind of messing with it so that those pictures are the same width and the white border is the same width. And I would like to make it so that it's smaller so I can keep that white edge around the border of the entire photo, but I don't think I do that on this one quite yet. I haven't figured that out yet. So I'm going to save that, and then I'm also going to get that journal card, the one that was too small to read. I'm going to grab that, and I'm just going to print that on my Epson printer. So I'm literally just pulling in that whole 12 by 12. I know there's other ways to do this, but this is the way I chose to do it today. That's the great thing about digital scrapbooking, is you have lots of ways to manipulate your photos. So just going to pop that in there. And then there was a photo that I knew I wanted to use of my sister and my nephew, who also was having his first Halloween. So I'm going to go pull that from Google Photos, I believe, or maybe I have it saved already into my phone. And put that in here and print out a 3x3, 2 3x4 cards that I can cut in half and adhere back to back and put into the album. So here I'm going into my Halloween Past album on my phone and pulling up that picture of my sister and Liam, if I can find it. And of course I'm going to struggle finding it right now because I'm trying to hurry, but you know how that goes. So looking for my Halloween Past photo album that I have gone past several times now, and there it is. We're going to find that photo of Abby and Liam, pop that into the Epson printer app, which I use all the time, and go ahead and print that. So we're going to take that over to the table here, and there it is. Cut that down to 3x4 and 3x4, and once again, same thing. It isn't exactly perfect ever, and I just don't really mind, so I'm going to put those back to back and see how far off we are. Trim just a tiny bit off of this one, and really in reality I should have just gone ahead and adhered them and then trimmed them with my scissors, which I think I end up doing that too because they're still just not quite lining up, but no big deal. Nobody's gonna know except for I just told you. So we're going to adhere those back to back. And I like to line them up on the table and just fold them together. That way I have at least one flat edge, and then I'm going to trim that extra off the side so that it lines up and off the top. And then we're going to punch, use my 6-hole punch, and I'm trying to figure out where do I want to put it. Do I want it in the middle? Do I want it towards the top? and I just eyeball it every time. I line my hole punch up with the rings in my binder and then just slide it in. So I love that eyeball up at the top of the rainbow. I think this is a Studio Calico traveler notebook size photo album. I got it several years ago and I just haven't used it yet. So I started off trying to put the Scotch adhesive on that and it didn't work. It didn't stick to the eyeball at all. So then I got my red line tape out because that has never failed me on anything. And guess what? I can't get that to stick either. That's what I'm doing off camera here, is trying to get the red off. I finally get the red off. I stick it down. And guess what? The eyeball comes right off. So I'm peeling the adhesive off of the album. And I am just thinking I'm going to have to hot glue this, I guess. And I don't go and get my hot glue gun out right now. I'm, still thinking, what on earth is going on? Nothing wants to stick to the back of this eyeball. Maybe I just need a different eyeball. I don't know. We're going to figure that out, but not right now. Okay, so I'm going to slide. No, I'm not going to do anything quite yet because I am still missing a few pages. So this is where I realized, oh, hey, I already did that page. No big deal, but I duplicated it again. And we're going to go ahead and do my 2018 pages now. And so this was us. We always carve pumpkins at my mother-in-law's house every year. And so this is us carving pumpkins. And once again, I just took the Project Life page that I had already made for my yearly album, and I'm just popping it in here because I already have a digital scrapbook page that doesn't need to be edited. I can just use it, and I love doing that because it simplifies this where I'm trying to catch up and just get the pages done. I just want pictures of us in our cute little costumes each year, a history of all of the Halloweens that we've ever celebrated together. And I was so fortunate. I have pictures all the way back to where the year that my husband and I met. So some of them weren't necessarily Halloween, but we had dressed up for costume things. And so I used all of those up in the very beginning of this book. So put in the title card, and I had it on the bottom, and I realized I definitely want that at the top. So I just switched them around. It's so easy to do in Canva, and it's so easy to just use the pages that I've already made. So I don't have the date on here because it was on one of the other journal cards that I covered up. So I am just going to add the date up here at the top because I definitely want to know the date, just the year, because we know that all of this is going to be Halloween. My plan for this book in the future is to do some more crafty things. I don't know, I kind of like the way that these are turning out. It may end up that I just take the same pages that I already do and pop them into this book because it is just so easy to do it this way, and I love having all of these together in one place. Okay, so we've got those all saved. Well, that's not how you save it, but I'm going to save it to my phone. Actually, no, I'm not quite yet. I'm going to duplicate it. And I think we're going to go ahead and make the next page, which is once again the same routine. I have the other page from my scrapbook, from 2018 scrapbook, and I am just going to replace it with the photos that I already had. I duplicated that one that we just used. I'm resizing it, popping that in there. I already have one of these photos, if I remember correctly, somewhere. So I decided that I wanted to it's the picture of Abby and Liam. I didn't want that one on the top, and I did want the picture of Wesley sitting on his own because that was one of the first times that he sat up. I mean, he was propped up, but still, memory of one of the first times that he was sitting up, and there we go. So I did change that around, and I obviously didn't show that being changed. No big deal. So I just flipped around some of the photos in my Project Life app, saved it to my phone, and then did the exact same thing. So these, once again, are just right at 3 inches, 3 by 8. It's on an 8 by 10 piece of paper again, photo paper. And these I'm actually printing from my computer. So once again, Canva is great because I can flip back and forth between my phone and my computer, and I can scrapbook on the go and then come back home and print it. So it works really well for my hybrid scrapbooking tendencies. I can do a lot of the digital stuff on the fly and then come back home and actually get it in an album. And I save them to my Dropbox. I have a folder in my Dropbox that is literally just 000 to print, things that I need to print when I get home, and I just periodically go through that folder. Let's see, really snug, so hard to get in there. Anyway, I just go through that folder and see what I have printed and what I have not, and once I print it, I organize it, and keeps me on top of my scrapbooking and making sure that I get things printed. Oh, there's my new album. I ordered that with my December daily box from Ellie Edwards, and that is going to house, I think, 2022 and moving forward, but I also ordered a bunch of page protectors and they were living in that album, so I needed some more in this one. It's not quite filled to capacity yet, especially since I haven't really been doing a lot of crafty pages. Most of these are just photos that I'm sliding into page protectors, which is totally fine. I love that. I don't care as long as I don't care how crafty it is, as long as I have those memories all in one place. So there goes 2018. And just like that, I have it all done. I am really, really happy with this album. It's coming together super cute. I'm liking going back and actually adding embellishments to the pages after the fact. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing here, is adding a little bit extra to this page. It needed a little more pizzazz. This is one that I designed, I think, towards the very beginning. I knew that I wanted to put Wesley's first, all of the kids' first Halloweens in there. So I think that's maybe where I started, actually, was that I just did each one of their first Halloweens, which is kind of how I did my December daily too. I went back and did each of their first Christmases and then went in and filled the gaps. So doing something very similar with this, it's easy to go back and remember those first years. They're just so fun to look back at those pictures, and that kind of gets the ball rolling to fill in the gaps. So maybe that's a little piece of advice that I have for you guys. Like, if you're wanting to go back and do a project like this, start with the years that were fun. Start with the years that you're really looking forward to. You don't have to do it chronologically. You don't even have to put it in your album chronologically. You can, and I keep doing that. I keep pulling out that little tab and putting it along the side. I've done that even today, and I recorded this last week, actually, I think. So maybe I do need to go back and actually put that on there. I also wanted to have something that you could turn the page with. And so I'm going through all of my little die cuts. Those are from Heidi Swapp's Hallows 22 kit. That is just adorable. I absolutely love it. There's so many cute die cuts in there. Also some really cute vellum ghosts that I was trying to play with too. I'm digging into the depths of that 12 by 12 drawer that's off camera there. So then I thought, okay, well, still want something like a tab. I thought about putting an Avery index tab. I like doing that, but that wasn't exactly what I wanted. Plus, I didn't really have any Halloween stamps, I don't think, that have little sentiments on it. So I decided to cut some washi tape, and I decided to fold it over in half, but I don't know what my problem was with this. I really struggled with getting it folded, and here I folded it flush, which really kind of defeated the purpose of it being something that you can pull on. So I'm going to actually trim it down just a little bit, and I'm going to fold it hamburger instead of hot dog style. So we're gonna fold it in half horizontally instead of vertically, and I'm just can't do it with it in there for some reason. Okay, so I am finally getting this off camera, and I am going to finish up by popping that back in, well, finally, maybe, popping that back into the album and sliding in the page that we embellished with that cute little washi tape and bat. And that's going to be it for today. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you later, guys. Bye.